Welcome back everyone, Kiltech here. First of all, I am still planning on doing some events, PvP events with Alpha Clones. So join my Discord server. You can find the link, the invitation link down in the comments. And this will be our basic PvP fitting guide for Alpha Clones. This time I will again show you why there is so many different PvP fittings out there, guys, because every PvP fitting has some mind setting behind. What I mean by that is there is always some purpose behind a fitting, why someone did fit it like that, and on top of that, personal preferences, guys. Everyone has personal preferences. So I will start with the frigates, PvP fitting frigates, and what differences you could use on PvP fitting. Let me just open our simulator, and I want to show you. Let's start with something easy. For example, the Punisher. We have the Amarr Punisher here, guys. And as you can see, I'm not going directly into fitting. I just wanna talk a little bit before I start fitting ships, why you would fit a ship in some desired fashion. You can directly see this Punisher only has 2 mid slots. That is not so good, and let me explain why. You want some type of propulsion upgrades on your ship. Those are mid slots. That would be an afterburner or a micro warp drive. Then you want some kind of electronic warfare on your ship. What do I mean by electronic warfare, guys? First of all, you have some modules which will affect an opponent in some way. For example, a warp disruptor or a warp scrambler. Those two get a point on your enemy so that he is not able to warp away. The warp disruptor in this case has a longer range, it's about 20 kilometers. And the warp scrambler has a much shorter range. It's only 7.5 kilometers if I remember correctly. But if you get the scrambler on someone, you not only get a point, I think it's even 2 points. Let me just open one up so that I can even show you guys everything. We have warp scramblers. Let's get the normal tech 1 one. Warp Scramble Strength 2 and optimal range of 7.5. So why, first of all, why is there a point system here? You can counter Warp Scramblers, and those items, those modules give you 1 strength to warp core to your warp core. And if someone has 2 warp core strengths, by that I mean he would have 2 modules, it would give him a total amount of 2 points. You would need at least 3 points to hold him there. So, and what a warp scrambler also does is it denies micro warp drives and micro jump drives from activating. So, for example, you have a very fast frigate with micro warp drives and you get a warp scrambler on him, then this will deactivate his micro warp drive and he will lose a lot of speed. If he has an afterburner, then he is not as fast as with a micro warp drive, but you can stop him with a warp scrambler. You would need at least one of these modules to stop an enemy ship from warping out so that you can kill him. So what do we have else as electronic warfare? Stasis Webifier. This module decreases the speed by about 50%, as you can see here right now. Maximum velocity bonus minus 50%. Has an optimal range of 10 kilometers. If you have a fast frigate enemy, which is moving too fast around you so that your turrets or your drones even can hit him, then this little baby comes in really handy, because he will slow down to only half of his speed, and you will be more likely to hit him with drones and with your guns. And as you can see, we have even more electronic warfare, but electronic countermeasures, ECM bursts, remote sensor dampeners, target painters, and tracking disruptors are more race-specific electronic countermeasures. I'm just going real fast over them. Electronic countermeasures would be for Caldari ships. They have a bonus on that. If you target an enemy ship and you use your electronic countermeasures, it is able to break his lock. What I mean by that is he can't lock anyone for like 20 seconds. So imagine that. You are fighting, someone uses ECM on you, and boom, all your locks are gone, and you're sitting like a duck there. You can still fly and do everything, but you can't shoot at anyone, because you can't get any locks. Remote sensor dampeners. This is electronic warfare from Gallente. What you can do with those are you can decrease the targeting range of an enemy, and you can decrease the scan resolution. As you can see, this one is using charges, and that would be scan resolution dampening script and target range dampening script. So imagine if someone is around 20 kilometers flying around you with a warp disruptor. With a Tech 2 warp disruptor, this one has a little bit more range, about 24 kilometers. So, and you can't lock him, and you're thinking, why the hell can't I lock him? I am in targeting range. But the opponent is using remote sensor dampeners, for example target range dampening, that would decrease your target range by, let's see, can we see that? Modification of scan resolution bonus. Yes, 100%, that would be 30.7, that would be like over 27%. It would decrease our targeting range over 27%, guys. That's a lot. And if he has more than one of these modules and is using them all on you, yeah, that can hurt. Okay, let's continue. Target painters are something Minmatars play around with. This is like a big laser pointer pointing at the enemy, and what this does is it increases your signature radius of your ship, and if you have a bigger signature radius, you are more easily to hit. What do I mean by that? Turrets are going to hit you easier and more often. Missiles always hit, so you don't get a bonus on the hit chances of missiles, but with a higher signature radius, missiles do a lot more damage, so this will hurt. Okay, going on faster. Tracking disruptors are the electronic warfare of choice of Amarr. What those does is they decrease your tracking of your turrets. We have here optimal range disruption script and tracking disruption script. So let's imagine, for example, the same thing with Gallente. You can lock your enemy, but he gets your optimal range so badly down that you are out of range to hit him. With turrets at least. And we even have guidance disruptor, missile precision disruption, and missile range disruption. For same for missiles. So those two can be affected by Amarr electronic warfare. And all these electronic warfare things that we can play with are going into mid slots. So, and as you can see, if you want to play around with anything like that, we need more mid slots. That's why I'm going back to another ship. Let's go to the Crucifier. As you can see, we have now 4 med slots, 3 low slots, and only 2 high slots. And when we are fitting a ship for PvP, we need to have a purpose first. That's the most important thing, guys. When you fly solo PvP, then you have to build a ship for solo PvP. And if you fly with a fleet, then you need to choose ships appropriate for a fleet. For example, this Crucifier would be an awesome fleet frigate. Why? Because we can send out 3 light drones and have bonus on effectiveness and optimal range of weapon disruptors, so that the enemy's turrets or missile launchers are not working properly. And how would we fit a ship like that? I did not prepare anything, but let's go with a quick fit. I would like a micro warp drive because speed is important. Weapons are not important on this ship, but what is important is electronic warfare, and I actually would give this ship all on stuff like that. So you could go 2 tracking disruptor and 1 guidance disruptor, or 3 tracking disruptor and another ship could go on only guidance disruptors, but let's mix it up a little bit. So, and then we could go on charges and let's say range disruption and range for all of them. So this one would decrease 33% fall off and optimal range and 17% missile velocity bonus and flight time. That's quite the hit. So what do we want to get on low slots? This is more like a fleet preference right now. It could be that your fleet commander wants nano or speed tanking ships, so you would go more nano fiber stuff to get more speed out of your ship. Or your fleet captain could be saying he wants some buffer on your ship. So let's assume our fleet captain is telling us that we need some buffer on our ship. So we would go 200 or yeah, let's go with this one. We would get some buffer. I think that's a little bit too less. Okay, let's get 200 of this. Let's get damage control, and because I will let the last one open because I'm not sure what kind of weapons we can fit right now. So let's try out the weapons first. Oh, what you could also do is you could fit damage mod for your drone so that your drones do more damage. But we actually want to get some weapons in. Let's go with beam lasers because I think we have an optimal range of 44 kilometers. We don't have scramblers or disruptors or anything like that. That means we don't need to get close to our enemy, and that's why I want to be able to fire on the enemy from far away. So we can't fit any of those big guns. Okay, as you guys can see, let's try to get one of the bigger guns. I don't think that we are able to tweak our ship to have enough power grid for this. That's probably not going to happen. Let me just still check it out. No way. No fucking way, guys. So I know for a fact right now that we won't be able to to run 2 of those, but we probably will be able to get something else which will work better. Let's get this one. How much range? 12 kilometers plus 14 kilometers. Okay, so we could do a lot more range on our guns. How we can accomplish that? Because as you can see, our electronic warfare has a lot of range, so that would mean we would sit at around 14 kilometers, could effectively use our electronic warfare, but could not shoot our guy. That's not so good. So what can we do? We can get like radio crystals. I think those one, yes, with a good damage increase, increased optimal range. Let's see if this will be enough. Probably not. 1921. So we would be able to hit someone, but the DPS is really bad, guys. The DPS is really bad. But we are probably not going to do our DPS with our lasers. Instead, we would do those with... Let's get 3 hobgoblins. Yes, that looks a lot better. 26.4 DPS and 10.5 DPS with our lasers. So, and we still have 3 rig slots. What could we get into our rig slots? I don't think that there is anything good for drones that we could use. Drone, those are for sentries. No, okay, we don't need durability or anything. We don't need anything for our lasers. But we could do something for our armor. And by that I mean we could increase our buffer. So we have now 1574 HP on armor, which is quite good for a frigate. This frigate has a top speed of 1822, which is good also. And this would, for example, be a fit that we could use. This now is a fit for fleet with electronic warfare that you could use as kind of support for a fleet. But of course, what we also need is someone who tackles an enemy. Let's see who we take for this. Let's take Condor. This is one easy frigate from Caldari that you could use for this job, for example. And by tackle I mean we need some frigate at the front who is orbiting in close combat at an enemy and has a point on him, or is orbiting outside of Webifier range. With that I mean stasis Webifier, which would slow him down to don't let him go. And always, guys, open up your traits for your ships so that you see what you could do, what traits your ship has. For example, as you can see, 10% bonus to kinetic, light missiles and rocket damage, okay? 80% reduction in propulsion jamming systems activation cost. Propulsion jamming is skill at using propulsion warp drive jammers. 5% reduction to warp, scrambler, warp disruptor and stasis Webifier web capacitor need per skill level. So, you see this ship has a trait, a roll bonus for warp disruptors and stasis webs. Okay. This directly means that we can get one of those. And actually, you always should compare the items, because then you will find out nice little things like the Warp Disruptor Tech 1 has an optimal range of 20. The J5 Enduring Warp Disruptor has a range of 20 also, but is losing less energy. But the Feint Scope is using the same activation cost as the Warp Disruptor, but goes 22 kilometers, so you have now 2 kilometers more to play with. So take that one. And also we also have faction stuff which are much better, but those stuff items really cost a lot, and for an alpha clone I wouldn't recommend them at all. So we now have our warp disruptor. Let's get stasis webifier. Do we want one? 10 kilometers, 10 kilometers. I think only the Tech 2 has... no. Oh yeah, they rebalanced them. So that would be 10 kilometers. Do we really want one of them? I would say no. I would go with one warp scrambler instead. I would take the one with a little bit more range, but of course not the heavy one. I want this one, yes. So, and of course we are going to need, because guys, we are now again building the fitting around an idea for this ship. Our idea for this ship was getting points and holding down the enemy. And we can accomplish that with the warp disruptor with a range of 22 kilometers. And if the enemy ship would be something like another tackler, we could get closer, 8.2 kilometers, and activate a warp scrambler so that he can't use his micro warp drive. But of course we are going to need one micro warp drive also. So as next option, I actually want to go for missiles. Let's get some light missile launcher. Let's get charged, and as you can see, 10% bonus to kinetic light missiles. This means we want the missiles which deal kinetic damage, and if I remember correctly, this should be the Scorch ones, right? No, yes, kinetic. As you can see, kinetic damage. This Scorch light missile does kinetic damage, and with the bonus of Caldari frigate here, and if we have level 4 frigates, we would do 14% more damage, guys. That's quite a lot. So let's get those. And as you can see, 20 DPS already. So, what kind of defense do we want on this ship? You could now get some kind of low slot tank, but this ship is really bad with that, guys. But it has a lot more shield HP. As I was already saying before, guys, I did not prepare any fits. I'm doing this on the go, just to get you to the point where you don't need to look at other fittings, guys. You only need to know what this ship is going to be doing, or what you want to do, and building around this idea. So, as I was saying, I probably want to squeeze in some kind of shield. Let me try a buffer. Medium, we can't get a medium on it. No, right, no medium. Get a small shield. Actually, alpha clones can get small shield extender too, so get them up there. Good. We can't get any hardeners or anything like this, but we most definitely need to close down those resistance holes. For that we can do a little bit with the damage control. Yes, damage control tech 2 is also available for alpha clones, so get this one. So now we have a little bit more resistance and 1k of HP. We have one more low slot. I would love to get ballistic control system on it, if we can fit one. We could fit this one, but this one is quite expensive. Can we get any? Faction is also expensive. Okay, 2.6 million. I would not fit this, guys, for anything like that. So you're not supposed to really do damage with this ship. That's why I'm considering to go on hull upgrades. Where is upgrades? Hull upgrades. Nanofiber. You could get this one for more speed and more agility. So let's do this one. Okay, and we want to do something with our rig slots. Let's see. We most likely do wanna close this EM hole that we have, and maybe thermal. Or should we go field extender, field extender? Oh, and when we are about to talk about those kinds of stuffs, you see this is the amount of health points that your ship has. But in your defense, you see a higher amount of HP, and it's the effective hit point. Approximate total hit points of ship with current resistance. This means it is considering that your ship resistances too, and gives you an approximate amount of health that you have while fighting. And in PvP, this one is quite important. You want this one to be high. So when you are playing around with a ship fitting, and you are playing with your tank, you could consider to look over here. And as you can see, 3.5. So if I take this out and get me this one for thermal and get this one, you can see this would be a little bit lower, even if we would have a better resistance here. So let's get back this one. 3.4. This looks like a nice tackler. You could use this ship to tackle enemy ships and to hold them down with no problem at all, I think. And again, we are only talking about fleet settings, fleet fittings right now. So as the next point, before I do another fitting or something like that, let me show you the market. Okay, guys? How do you find a ship for a specific role that you are looking for? I would say go to your race frigate market, and you could already see what traits those frigates has. You can see this one got a shield booster and light missiles. Okay, not too shabby. The burst has a remote shield booster and remote shield booster traits. It's remote shield booster amount and activation cost. Okay, so now you already see this ship is probably going to be good at healing shields from friendly ships. Okay, these ships actually are really good for fleets. If you plan to do fleets with some friends, consider adding 1 or 2 frigates like this who will repair your ships. And when you are doing something like this, I strongly advise you to decide for all ships to go either shield or either armor tank, so that you have only armor tank ships with only armor repairing ships. That would be, if I go to Amarr, you could see we have the, where is it? The Inquisitor for armor repair. The Galente has the Navitas for armor repair. Caldari has the Bantam, and Minmatar has the Burst for shield repairs. Okay, moving on. The Probe is the scanning ship from Minmatar for scanning of sites. You can see the bonuses that it has. So we have the Rifter and the Slasher here. As you can see, the Slasher would be like the Condor of the Caldari. It gets bonus on propulsing jamming. So this will be the electronic warfare. No, not electronic warfare. The one to tackle enemy ships. The Rifter, you can see, gets some bonus on turret damage and fall off. So this will probably be good the damage dealer. And as you can see, the Vigil gets target painter effectiveness and optimal range. So this is the electronic warfare ship of the Minmatar to use target painters. And everyone has a ship like that. As you can see, we have the weapon disruptors on the Crucifier, the ECM target jammer strength and activation cost on the Griffin. Then we have remote sensor dampener on the Maulus, which I am using right now. It's just a beautiful ship, guys. Okay, and Minmatar, we just saw Minmatar. Okay, so for example, let's get damage. You need also ships whose main role is to do damage, because as you can see, 20.6 DPS. Come on, guys, 20.6 DPS. That's not going to hurt anyone, right? So then I would say, should we try a Rifter? No, let's go. Or should we even try Galetta? No, let's go with the Punisher. Because I was hating out on the Punisher and saying only 2 Smith slots. But the Punisher actually don't need more. So let's open the traits of the Punisher. As we can see, reduction in small energy turret activation cost, okay, and 4% bonus to all armor resistance. So what does this mean? This means this ship will have good resistance on armor and will have a quite good tank. But this will be our ship of choice for doing damage. So let's get pulse lasers, small, and let us get something mean. Let's get normally you would go like this and open those up. Then you could compare the meta of the items and you would know which one is better. We have meta level 4, 2, 3, 1. So let's ditch 1 and 2, compare 3 and 4. 3 is using more energy to activate than 4. Okay, good. And 4 has a better optimal range and has a better damage modifier. Okay, so let's see. That would be focused modulated pulse engine. Focused modulated. It costs 500,000, and the other one, focused anode pulse, costs 100. So for one of these you can buy like 5 of these. So it's your call to make. If you want to do main damage, you probably should get the big guns. So let us get the big guns. Okay, so this has only close to 7 kilometers and 10 kilometers fall off, but we want to do damage with this one. So let's give him multi-frequencies. Now we need to get close with this ship, really close. And what we also should consider with this ship is to hold down our enemies of some kind, because we need to get close. We need to get really close and dirty, guys, with this ship. I would like to have a stasis webifier, because we already need to get in close, so we are already in range to use a stasis webifier. Let's get one, I would say. And of course we would need some kind of propulsion, and with Amarr, I'm not sure if you should go on micro warp drive, but let's try out the micro warp drive first and decide later on if you want to keep that one. Oh, and what you have to be aware of also is your signature radius. As you can see, it's now 37, and when I hover over this 5MN modules, we have 3 here. You can see 222 meters, 203 meters, 222. So this means this one will not increase your signature radius by the same amount as the others. So I would actually go with this one, just to get a little bit less damage with missiles. Okay, propulsion is on. So what I would like to do is, of course, get in damage control tech 2. I would always tell nearly everyone to get damage control tech 2 for your ship, because, let me just get it out. If I hover over it, you can see shield resistance, armor resistance, and structure resistance is getting bonuses. And this increases our effective HP by nearly 800. So I would consider this nearly a must. So I also want some kind of armor plate on this one. Can we get something really big? No, we can't get 800 millimeters on it. That would be crazy. But we maybe could fit 400 millimeter rolled tungsten. Okay, I just wanted to say one more thing, guys. Please don't think about me like, oh, look at that guy, he's trying out ship fittings online and doing stuff like that. No. What I actually want to show you is the mind process. Because back in my old days, when I got into a new ship class, I normally had no fucking clue how I would fit a ship like that. I was like, what do I do with this ship? I really had no fucking clue. And when I look at the local chat of some systems with career missions for the new players, I always see people struggling with their ship fitting, guys. So what I want to do is show you my mind process, what I am thinking. And right now I'm thinking I want to get some buffer on the ship, because the ship will be close in combat and it will get some damage and it needs to withstand that. And I know we don't have the needed power grid right now, but this is good while we have this simulator right now. Now we can try fittings out. We want some buffer, and actually you want to get the biggest buffer you can afford. And now we can tweak the little things and see if we can run this ship. Okay, so let's carry on. I have a big ass 400 millimeter rolled tungsten compact plates on it, which increases our armor rating by 1100 armor hit points. Very good. We are close to 2000 armor. As you can see, we are over 5000 armor already. So what could we do also? We need some kind of power. Do we want a reactor control unit? When we don't get anything else using a power grid, we could do that. Or as we can see, our capacitor is not the greatest. Look, we could actually get rid of the micro warp drive and maybe fit an afterburner, and we wouldn't need. Yeah, okay, let's try this. Let's try this out. If we get an afterburner instead, we don't need more power. Okay, we still need more power grid. Okay, crap. Now, don't we have power grids which don't we have afterburner which need less? No, guys. Okay, an afterburner will not fit. Let's get back this one and see what we could do. Power diagnostics. It's not enough. An auxiliary power reactor would net us around 7. Reactor control unit 7.5. 7.5 for Omega clones only. Okay, now let's get the auxiliary power. So what could we fit also on this one? I normally would like to get some heat sinks for more damage with your turrets, but I'm afraid that we won't be able to fit any of these. As you can see, we don't have enough CPU to do that. This would increase a lot, so I'm actually thinking of redoing this a little bit. Let's see. We could fit 2 of those. This would increase our DPS quite a lot. Then we could get maybe a 200mm. No, 100. No. We definitely need a CPU upgrade. And guys, playing around with fittings can be fast sometimes, but sometimes if you really have a tight fitting, it can take quite a long time. So let's see, can we fit? We could fit if we have the needed skills, coprocessor Tech 2, and then I think we should be able to fit like 200. Very good. We could fit the Tech 2 variant of this one. And as you can see, we don't have the buffer that I wanted to have, but nevertheless, let's try to get some armor rigs on it. Do we have a big hole? Okay, kinetic and explosive does not look so good, but let's get some Trimarch armor pumps on it. 1.9. So as you can see, guys, this would be my attempt to get the fitting that I want. I don't think that this fitting is finished. I actually probably would go back to the 400mm steel, 400mm, and would try to make that work. Maybe don't get Trimarch armor pump rigs and get instead, let's see, in the energy weapon rigs we have collision accelerator, which increases the damage of our weapons. Actually, let me just try that out, guys. I know the video will be a little bit longer, but I want to show it to you guys. Let's get the roll tungsten. Let's get the auxiliary again. Okay, now we have 2 low slots left. What can we do? We are not going to fit heat sinks right now. 16 DPS. We still want more, but let's go for energized armor layering. We could at least fit one of this one. Let's see. I would like to get this one because it gives us some CPU, and then I would probably go with a layered one and see which one gives me the most. This is, yeah, this is able with, this is possible with alpha clones also. So I am at 2200 armor HP. This will give me nearly 6000 effective HP, which is quite tanky for a frigate. And I still have rig slots. So let's directly dive into this one. The collision accelerator fitting would need 200. And my ship has, as far as I know, only 400. Yes, 400 points. That would mean I could fit 2 of those, or 1 of those, and two different kinds. So let me see what do we have else. This is rate of fire. Let's see which will net us more DPS. The burst Erater gives us 66.8, 66.1. So this one gives us more damage on impact with one shot. This one allows us to shoot more often and results in a higher DPS that way. But it will consume more energy. So I'm considering to go for the collision. And the other two slots, I would like to get that 3 mark armor pump. As you can see, now I have nearly 3000 armor and over 7000 HPS. Just for comparison, let me get a cruiser. Let me get a Rupture. Yeah, why not? A Rupture has 1800 HP. I have more HP than a Rupture right now. Our tankiest ships are the Amarr. Let's go with the Mauler. The Mauler has 2300 HP on armor. We have freaking 3000 HP on armor, guys. Do you see that? So this means you can go with this ship, close in to your enemy, and hold him down with the Webifier. So that would mean you would have, for example, a Condor from Caldari. Oh no, we don't want to mix up. Let's say Etron from Gallente. I think it's the Etron. I'm trying to I'm trying not to mix up everything. Yeah, Etron. This would be Tekler from Gallente. Or from Amarr, the Executioner. Let's go with the Executioner. This would be the Tekler of choice for Amarr. So we would have the Executioner flying over 10 kilometers, like 16, maybe even 18 kilometers around your target with beam lasers focusing it, or the Crucifier if you don't have an only Executioner. And maybe you are only 2 guys. I don't know the capacity of your fleet, but let's assume we have enough guys. So we would use an Executioner, tackling the enemy down. This would be the first guy who is in the fight. Then the rest would join the fight. The Punisher would go in close, start webbing him, and unleashing his firepower on him. And this Punisher is not going down soon, guys. He is not going down soon. And if you remember, if we would have at least 2 or 3 Inquisitors, which would have quite the range with her remote armor repairer, they would be able to repair this Punisher from far away. So let's assume you tackled a cruiser with short weapon range. The cruiser could be doing good damage to the Punisher. He would need to webify him somehow, maybe with drones he would do quite good damage. But the Inquisitor would be able to heal up this Punisher easily. Because, guys, again, 3000 HP, over 7000 effective HP. That's a lot, guys. That's a lot of tank. And we are doing 66.1 DPS. So this guy has a punch. Yes, and what you also could do is, this was, for example, frigates. You could decide to have only frigates as support with a Tekler, some electronic warfare frigates, and some healing frigates. And you could maybe decide to only have destroyers as your main damage dealers. Just as an example, I'm going to do a quick destroyer fitting. Let's get the Coercer. When we are doing Amarr, let's dive into Amarr. So this is the one of our choice, right? Close everything. Let us look at the traits of this beauty. His traits are 10% bonus per level to small energy turret tracking speed, 10% reduction in small energy turret activation cost, and as a roll bonus, 15% bonus to optimal range of small energy turrets. So, I think we could do a quite good long range damage dealer on this one. So I would go on energy turrets. Of course you can go pulse lasers, but let's go with beam laser for this example. Get the biggest one again, fill it up completely. So as you can see, our power grid is really bad right now, and it won't have the tank of the Punisher. But let's see what we can do. We want to do damage with this ship. So let me get... What happens if we put multi-frequencies in it? We have a range of 23 kilometers. So you could be around 15 kilometers and would do quite a damage. I probably would not go with micro warp drive. I would go with an afterburner for this guy. So get him an afterburner. Then get him again stasis webifier tech 2. Then we want also a damage control tech 2. So something like this, and now we already see our power grid is really bad. We need something for more power. Let's get... What can we do? This would be nearly 1 million, only for Omega. I don't think that we can accomplish more. This is also only Omega. So we could get... Oh, this is very cheap. Could get this one. So our power grid would now be okay. But we still need some kind of armor on this. Let's face it, guys, this ship will be doing good damage right now, but his defense is like really crap. So what could we do? I don't think that we will be able to fit... Oh no, normal armor plates would be able, but can we get energized armor layering? No, we can't. 200 millimeters is not possible either, I think. Okay, can only fit 100. Let's get this one because I'm not sure if we will have enough CPU, because the drawbacks of the energy weapon rig is, if I remember correctly, oh no, it's more power grid, so we can't get this power grid, this rigs for energy weapons on it for more DPS, because we don't have the power grid for it. But we definitely could get 3 mark armor pump, and we would have a little bit more armor. We are now close to 7,000 HP, 2,000 HP of armor for a destroyer. That's not bad, with a DPS of 126. I think with this fitting you could do quite good damage. So that would be a nice overview of how you can fit your ships with the an idea around the ship. Let me just explain that again. If you want to fly PvP, you need to get a roll done, and when you have your roll, you have your idea what the ship should be doing. Then you can choose the ship which is actually designed for that role and fit the ship as you need it to fit. So what would be this designs that I just showed you good for? These designs would only be good for a small fleet in low ZEC, guys, or a small fleet in high ZEC, which is doing faction warfare, for example. But if I remember correct, it's only low ZEC. If you are doing some kind of war with another corporation, for example, you could use small fleets like that. You can't take any gate camps with this. You can't take the sentry guns of gates, so gate camping yourself is also a bad idea. Doing gate camps and stuff like that, ship fittings for those, I will do also a video about that. That would be more like cruisers, at least cruisers, yes. That would be it about this guide, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget the PvP events that I want to do with the alpha clones. Everyone is invited. Everyone who wants to join can join, and just follow the Discord server invitation down in the comments. Of course, we will have meetups before an event so that we can discuss something like fitting and even talk about fittings. And I will help everyone out with their fitting of choice. So, thank you again, everybody. Thank you for watching. Please share and like the video. Subscribe if you are not already subscribed, guys. Hope to see everyone soon, guys. Fly safe. Kiltech out.